Let me tell you why this little lens here is a great choice for landscape photography. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you're all doing great. So today we're going to talk about this lens here. This is the 24-200 f4 to f6.3 Nikon Z mount lens. This is a super zoom lens. It's a fairly inexpensive lens, and I've been using it for around 2 years now on my Z7 II first and now on my Z8, and I really love it. I love it so much that at the moment this is my only lens for the Z mount. So I'm going to talk about what I do like about this lens, what I don't like, what I think it should be improved, and also why I think it's a great choice for landscape photography. So when I moved from the Nikon D850 to the Z7 II 2 years ago, I wasn't sure that the Z mount was the right system for me. So I decided to invest just in one lens to begin with, so this particular lens, just because the focal length, it goes from 24 all the way up to 200, so it covers basically everything that I might never need for landscapes. And as I said, after a couple of years of using this and seeing the images that I can get, this is perfect for me, and I don't think I need any other lens. Just a small disclaimer here. As you might know, I only shoot black and white. I only shoot long exposures, and my images are all cropped to a square. So I'm not really interested in corner sharpness. I don't pixel peep my images. I don't want them to be extra sharp. I actually want them to be a little bit softer, to be more like film. So for me, this is great. For you, it might not be. Just a small disclaimer, this is just my opinion. So let's talk about the lens itself, how it's made, and the kind of options that it has. So the lens is a pretty standard Z mount lens here, nothing fancy. I'm not a fan of the Z lenses design or build construction. I think the old lenses from Nikon are much better and built better, actually. This is made in Thailand. It's all plastic basically, and it's a small lens, so that's good. At 24 millimeters, it's just, you know, this small, and then it can extend all the way up to 200. Even if you extend it, it balances pretty well, even if you put it on the Z8 or the Z7 II. So that's good. Overall, it's a pretty standard construction. It has a lock switch here to lock the zoom ring at 24 millimeters, which is good, but that's the only button that this lens has. It doesn't have any switch for manual and autofocus, which I think it's something that they should have put here, because when I'm in the field, many times I need to switch back to manual focus to shoot with ND filters, and every time I need to do that, I need to go through the menus of the camera. So having a switch here, like for example in the 24-120 f4, it would make my job much easier. Anyway, it's not there. Apart from that, the zoom ring is pretty good. It's pretty hard, which I think is a good thing. On the other hand, the focus ring here, which can be customized for other function, it's really thin and it's kind of difficult to grip. And this is another issue that I have with this lens, because as I said, I shoot mostly in manual focus and try to focus manually with this small ring in the field, especially when you have maybe the sun, strong sun, or maybe it's raining on you, or you have not such a good visibility around you. It's kind of difficult, and you can see everything in the viewfinder, of course, but sometimes it's really difficult to nail focus manually with this small of a ring. So you have to get used to it, I guess. Apart from that, as I said, the construction is pretty standard. One thing that I like about this lens is that since it goes from 24 to 200 and it's this small, you can just carry this around mounted on your camera and you don't even need a bag. So I think that's a huge plus because if you work with like better lenses, you end up needing to carry maybe a couple, maybe 3 of these lenses if you want to go from a really wide lens to a really long telephoto lens. But what happens is to carry those 3 lenses and a body, you have to go with a backpack. Then you have your tripod, you have maybe your food, so you end up carrying a lot of gear and you get tired a lot. With this lens, it's so small, you just stick it on your camera, put the camera on your tripod, put the tripod on your shoulder, and you can just walk around without a bag, and that allows you to go around much more and discover more location, and also get less tired, which brings to you taking more images. So I think that's a really good thing about this lens. So this lens is really small, it's lightweight, it's not that expensive, that's all great. But that doesn't mean anything if the images that it can take are not good enough. So let's have a look at image quality. And I'm gonna put some of my images that I shot with this lens on the screen now, and please let me know in the comments below what do you think about the image quality. For me personally, the image quality from this lens is great. It's on par almost to lenses like the 24 to 120 or the 24-70 2.8. Of course, those are better image-wise because they're S-line lenses, so they have better coating on the glass. But from a real view standpoint, for putting your images on the internet, on social media, or even from printing, I couldn't see any difference whatsoever between this lens and more expensive lenses. Plus, this little guy here also has VR, so image stabilization, and you can use that in conjunction with the image stabilization on your camera. For example, the Z8 that I use. So with this one, I can go away with shooting longer focal lengths when there is a little bit of wind, or maybe my tripod is wobbling a little bit more, and I can go away with sharper images with this lens that I would go with the 24 to 120 f4, for example, because that lens doesn't have VR, which is odd to me. So overall, I think the image quality for this, especially for black and white, especially for what I do, cropping everything to a square, it's perfect. If you go and pixel peep everything, you look at the corners, you look at sharpness, you might find that the corners on the images are a little bit softer than the center, but as I said, I crop everything, I don't really care, and even if I shoot in the standard ratio, I'm not really concerned about the quality from any of the images from this lens. Also, if you use this lens for something else, which is not landscape photography, this might actually be better than some of the other options because, as I said, it has image stabilization built in and it goes all the way to 200. So I used to use this lens with my Z8 in crop mode to shoot my kids' soccer games, for example, and I could go all the way up to 300 with the Z8 autofocus, image stabilization on the lens and in the body, and I could get sharp images handheld at 300 millimeters, which is not something that you can always get by using a very cheap lens. So this is good for that. It's good for other stuff, time lapses, shooting in the street, everything that you need to do handheld, a little bit of video handheld, especially if you do slow motion. So overall, I think image quality is on par or almost on par with much more expensive lenses. So let's recap some of the pros and the cons of this lens. Let's start with the pros. It's really small, it's lightweight, it's not very expensive, it's kind of weather sealed, or at least good enough for you to be able to shoot in any condition. It goes from 24 all the way to 200, all in the same package, which means you can just bring this around with you, attached to your camera, and you don't need any other lens. Image quality is pretty good enough for me. Overall, it's a great choice, lots of pros. So when it comes to the cons, I don't have many. As I said, I would like to have a physical switch to switch from auto to manual focus here, and I would like to have a bigger focus ring here to be able to do manual focusing better. And of course, if Nikon could make another lens with the same size, same weight, but it goes all the way up to 300, that would be a great thing. So let's talk alternatives. What should you get if you don't want to get this lens here, and why? So if you want a constant aperture lens and you want the best range possible, I think the best choice would be the 24 to 120 f4 because it still has a really good range. It is f4 all the way, and it's an S lens, so S-line lenses usually have better image quality than normal lenses. Just keep in mind that it's not stabilized, so you need to rely on the stabilization on your camera only. If you need the best image quality and you want the 2.8 aperture because you need it for your type of shooting, your only option is the 2.8 24 to 70 2.8. But just keep in mind that that lens is really big, really expensive. I think it's 3 times this lens. But if you want the best, that's the best. What about if you want something smaller than this? And you don't need to shoot on the telephoto side. You only need wide to medium range of focal lengths. The 24 to 70 f4, it is an S-line lens, so image quality is pretty good. It is slightly smaller than this, slightly lighter than this, so I think it's a good choice. And finally, what if you need all the reach you can get and you only want one lens? In that case, you should probably go for the 28 to 400 or 24 to 400. I never remember that. I'm gonna put it here. So that lens, of course, is big because it has double the reach of this one. So it's bigger, it's heavier, and keep in mind that if you probably zoom all the way up to 400, it's gonna be more difficult to shoot on a tripod, especially if it's windy or you know, if your tripod is kind of on a wobbly surface. So for me, as I said, this lens here is the perfect compromise between technical specs, image quality, price, size, and ease of use, but that might be different for you. So what about you? Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite Z-mount lens and why. Okay, so these are my thoughts on the 24 to 200 Z-mount zoom lens. I hope this review was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, or just let me know what's your favorite Z-mount lens. I try to reply to all the comments as soon as possible. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day and bye.